I've been stumped on, beaten down, but I still held my ground. I've been kicked on, pounced on, and I've been bounced around. I've been uprooted, persecuted, disputed, not to mention bruised, abused, misused, refused, neglected, unprotected, disrespected, and rejected. But I'm still here and I'm strong because it's Jesus that rests in me. So right now, as of this moment, I'm going to give him the best of me. But I'm getting tired of the enemy always testing me. Sometimes. My name is Sheridan Forte. I'm an English major from Dallas, Texas, and I'm a junior at ACU. I grew up with a father and a mother in the same house, strong family, but that was it. Like, that was the foundation. Everything outside of that, the drugs, I mean, you name it. Friends getting killed at early age, it happened. It happened in my life. And without the structure of my family and that strong foundation and that faith in God, I would not be here. And I tell people that all the time. I would not be here. The environment I grew up in is not pretty, man. But what was pretty was the way my parents raised me, the way my uncles raised me, and things like that. And without them, I can honestly say that I would not be here. I would not. And so many people grow up in those environments like that. Some don't make it out, some do. I'm just thankful that God blessed me with the parents. He blessed me with the parents. Man, I'm getting emotional when I talk about this, but he blessed me with parents that made sacrifices my whole life. They want to see me do the best I can do. Kennedy Carey Middle School was one of the worst schools in the nation. There was an article in it in the Dallas Morning News, and it was known or recognized as one of the worst schools as far as academics and behavior. And in 2006, they closed the whole school district down because of the performance. And you know, to come out of that, man, God and family. That's what it was, man, God and family. And you know, I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And there's other things that happened in my life, you know, that shaped the person I am today. And I don't regret any decision I made. I don't regret any situation I went through or that I put myself through, because it made me who I am today. And without those situations, without those choices, who's to say where I would be? We went on a trip to Washington, D.C. with my church, a mission trip, you know, get familiar with how the life of the kids in Washington, D.C., things like that. And their lifestyle touched me in a way where I began to hear words in my head that matched with their situation. And then, you know, we hear words in our heads all the time, but the words was coming inside of my head like, I don't know. I really can't explain it. It was just, it was beautiful the way it was constructing itself inside of my head. And I was thinking, I'm saying, what are these words? How was it? Like, what's going on? And I didn't understand it then at the time. And when I got back home, we had to present before the church. We had to share our experience in Washington, D.C. and how it impacted our lives. And I put those words that was in my head, I put it on paper, exactly how I was hearing them. 7th grade, 12 years old. And when I read it to the congregation, everybody stood up and clapped. And at that point, I knew that I had something that a lot of people don't have. But I was immature in a way. I was thinking that it was mine, but it's not mine. It's not my gift. It's really God's gift that he gave to me. I don't write as often as I should. Just start off by saying that. But the times I do write, I see events that happen, sometimes racial events, sometimes events where people not treated fairly, people judged by the color of their skin, whether they're black or white. I see these events happen, and then something inside of me tells me to write, and I start hearing those words again. And if I'm asleep, sometimes they come to me while I'm asleep. If I'm asleep, I have to get up and put it on paper so I won't forget what's coming to me. And events like sometimes my family go through situations. I write about those situations. I have friends that's going through situations, and I want them to be encouraged. And since they are so close to me, I hear those words come to me, and I put it on paper. And when I write, it comes out in a way to where I hear it in my head. But now that I'm more of a mature writer, I learned to construct those ideas and make it more appealing, have the same effect, have the same meaning, have the same encouragement. But I try to construct it in a way to where it appeals to somebody who's going through something or having a hard time, so where they'll feel it more. I have to put a positive reinforcement. Well, it has a positive reinforcement on people. I have to put Christian themes in it because that's what I know. And we've been at the bottom, and there's no way we could have made it out of that situation by ourselves. So it had to be another power that had his hands on my life, my family members' life, and after seeing that happen over and over, I'm like, man, there's something else that's going on, and I grew up in a Christian home. My father's a minister, and he taught us about stories in the Bible and stuff, things like that. And so it's just a part of me. Like, whenever I write, it's like I'm programmed to think encouragement. How can I impact people in a way where it will bring God the glory, so that's what I do. I mean, it's just, I love it. I love doing it. That's me. That's how it comes out, and that's how I write it. So 2 years ago, I came to Mark Lewis wanting to do a poem, but it didn't happen. I'm like, well, maybe they don't want me to do it on campus. Maybe they don't want that type of thing presented in chapel. So I ignored it, didn't think about it. And I did something for Stephen Moore at University Church, and people liked it. And Dr. Moore said, well, maybe you should present in chapel. The idea hadn't come to me before he presented that idea to me at that time. I'm like, well, you know what, I tried it before. Should I try it again? I started to say no, but I said, you know what, I got to give it a try. You never know what happened. Never know what might happen. So I went to Mark Lewis. I said, hey, I got a poem. I know we were supposed to do it 2 years ago. Not the same poem, but I know I was supposed to do it, present in chapel 2 years ago, but it didn't happen. Maybe now's the time. To my surprise, he said, okay, yeah, man, we can do it, man. And I just kept praying that it would touch people when I presented. And it did, man. It did, and I love the reaction from the audience. I love how people were touched by it. And, from the moment that I went to Mark Lewis to try to do it in chapel, to the moment I walked off stage, I have to give God the glory. Like, everything I did, it was for him, man. From that time, from the time I walked off stage. So anything that happened is because of him. It's because of God, man, and I appreciate him for that. I used to have a plan, man, that I thought was the plan for me, playing football. That's what I came here for. That's what I wanted to do. That was my heart's desire. That was a plan. But after being here 3 years, after building relationships, after seeing that I have more of football is not the only talent, that I can reach people in more ways than just football. After seeing that, man, I would have to say my plan is to, I know I keep saying this, but do whatever God wants me to do. And I could sit here and tell you my plan, but it's hard because I don't know what his plan for me is. So my plan is to follow his plan. So that's the only plan I have. But what I want to do is playwriting, screenwriting, stuff like that. Maybe eventually get into writing movies, things like that, inspiring people through my poetry, visiting schools or anything, places that need or that accept that kind of presentation, like slam poetry presentation. Just encourage people all over. That's what I want to do, but is that his plan? I don't know. So I just have to submit to him, man, and that's my plan. That's my plan.